Hey everyone, and welcome back to Max Attack Motorsports. Yeah, we're here again today with the Volkswagen GTI, and as you can see, we got our new radiator in. So this is from CSF Performance. So it's an aluminum rad. Yeah, this is the next thing we're going to be doing with the time attack build here. So last time I left you guys, we just finished doing the oil pressure gauge and the boost gauge. We're still waiting for the oil pressure sending unit to come in, but it's going to take quite a while. So yeah, let's take a look at the actual radiator itself. So the radiator number is 7025. That is the part number. It's supposed to be a direct fit, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I picked this up from Das Parts in Cambridge, Ontario. Also got myself new thermostat here, and we got our coolant neck that comes off the block for yeah, the bottom rad hose, so just to get rid of all that plastic crap. But yeah, so let's open up the box here and see what everything looks like. Okay guys, so there we go, it's still in the packaging. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep this stuff on for now until I can actually get everything kind of set up here. But you can see the nice welds on it. Even comes with hardware, which is awesome. That's going to save me in the long run. Yeah, and then we already have our rad support off, which there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube that you can check out to get that off. But just a lot of T20, T30 torque screws. So yeah, what I'm going to do right now actually is I'm going to take off the stock rad that's on there right now quickly. It's just been hanging there so I can start the car. But yeah, I'm going to get that off, and then I'm going to put this coolant neck on right here, as well as the new thermostat. And then we're going to try to yeah, mount the fan, get all this stuff ready to go. So let's do that first. So yeah guys, so that's just what we're going to be taking off right here, is this plastic coolant neck, just because it's old and brittle, and God knows whenever that thermostat's been changed. And then yeah, just taking the old lines off. Just be careful, obviously. I think I only put a little bit of water in here just so I can start it, to make sure there was no leaks on the last video. But yeah, so I'm going to take this stuff off. That looks like to be like another 8mm Allen bolt there, so we'll see how that works out. Okay guys, so you can see here, so these are really tight on. A 5mm Allen key will work, but it is kind of a pain, obviously, if you don't have half your damn front bumper off here. But at the same time too guys, make sure you disconnect your battery, as always, anytime working on the car. I don't even think I've had it on the entire time I've worked on it. But yeah, because you're just dealing with the main power from the alternator here too, and the last thing you want to do is create a short circuit and start having sparks flying anywhere. But anyways, so this is just a 10mm with an extension on it, and yeah, I just broke it free, which is nice. Hopefully it's not actually broken. And then for the bottom one there, I might have to use either just the no extension on it, or I probably can get away with just using the 5mm Allen bolt key. So yeah, then once you get that off, it's pretty basic how it comes off. You're just going to pull it. It might be a little tight on there from over the years, but yeah, we'll work with it. But you can just see it's just plastic crap, right? So yeah, let's get it off here. So you can see I finally got it nice and loose. A little bit of coolant will come out, but not too much. So I'm just trying to get this last bolt off here, which is a huge pain. And then yeah, you can kind of see it, and the thermostat will be right inside there. But yeah, just happy that it finally came off. Okay guys, so there it is right there, and then there's our thermostat. Yeah, it actually doesn't look that bad, but I'm going to replace it while I can. Yeah, it should hopefully come out here. It's got a nice seal on it, which is nice. So there actually is no gasket that goes on the block here, but the thermostat itself will actually create a seal. So yeah, let's get this thing off here. If it pops off, I might have to take a screwdriver just to kind of pry it, but yeah, we'll get that off. And then we have our new one. So again, there's the part number we're using. And pretty basic, just a bone stock 87 degrees thermostat that will pair with our new coolant flange here. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that, just to get rid of this crappy plastic, guys. So there's the old one out. We had a lot of fluid come out. I didn't realize there was that much in there right off the block. But yeah, so here's our old one. And again, you're gonna want to just take the old seal here, and then the new one will come with a seal and obviously the new thermostat. I had to kind of remove the alternator here. So it wasn't that I couldn't get access to it, it's just I could not get a perfect seat with the actual thermostat in there, and it was driving me nuts. And if I'm going to do this, I only want to do it once. So pretty basic. If you're going to do take the alternator off, you're going to want to obviously loosen the tensioner to take off the belt, and then you have two 13mm bolts that should stay there. Two 13mm bolts that go into your spots here. So here's obviously where they go. But yeah, now that we can actually get a good view on this, I'm going to try this again. So you're going to put your O-ring in, obviously, and then we're going to put the thermostat on. So like so. Let me just check the camera. So yeah, just like so. Now remember, obviously this part is going to be facing up. So just like that. And then somehow, where'd my bracket go? There it is. So somehow this little lip here, I guess, is going to center that whole thing there. And then just do our two 10 mils. Alright guys, so I think I've actually been doing this wrong the whole time. So what I did actually was put the thermostat in the actual hole and then put the O-ring around it, and then I find that it actually centers it way better. So that definitely works out a lot better. I'm just trying to tighten this with the one hand here, but yeah, way better. So yeah, if you've been watching it from the beginning, kind of skip forward obviously to the right part here, but yeah, so that's the proper way to put this bad boy on, is to put the thermostat actually on first, then the rubber seal, and then your housing. Okay guys, so now we're finally done that. See the belt's back on. What a pain in the ass. If you guys put a little bit of lithium grease or some sort of lubricant, it does help excuse me, immensely to get this alternator back on. Oh man, that was a pain. Anyways, so what we're gonna do here now is yeah, we're gonna get our rad hoses off our old rad and get them ready to go onto the new rad here. What we're gonna actually do first is try to put the fans and everything back on. So pretty much what you're gonna do, guys, is yeah, so see these little, look like little 10 mils. So this is where the rad fans are gonna sit. This is the inside of the rad facing the firewall. Also, we're gonna take this plug out. This is gonna be for our fan thermal switch to turn our fans on. So yeah, let's do that. We'll get the fan thermal switch off the old one and put on the fans, and then we're gonna have to work on getting the bushings that are on the actual rad. So they're gonna go on to these little nubs here, and then we're gonna work on getting those hoses off. So yeah, while we're here, then I guess I'll kind of take this thing off, take a look at everything. I'm just trying to protect it all, but so far, as you guys can see, like, it looks so good, man. I'm super excited about it for sure. So we're just gonna cut these. Just be careful, guys, because like I said, it is aluminum. There you go. Move on to the next one here. And then once we review everything, holy jumping, look at that. Oh my gosh, that is so nice. I've had a lot of aluminum rads. This one is in really good shape, man. So here's our little, this looks like a drain plug. And then we're gonna have to put on our special hoses that go onto there. But yeah, so the fans, pretty basically you can see, so you're gonna have these little guys here. Some of them are from the AC condenser, which we're not using anymore, obviously. So yeah, pretty basic stuff, guys. Now, yeah, we're just gonna tighten these up with the 10 mil, and it was a little tight. I just had to kind of bore out that hole a little bit, but yeah, once it gets nice and down there. Now remember, you don't want to crack this nice old plastic, so that's nice and tight. To this guy right here, and then obviously we'll move to this one and that one. Doing it in an even pattern, just kind of to disperse the forces on this old plastic. Okay guys, now don't forget to grab your thermal switch. So this is just to pretty much let your car know that okay, it's hot enough to turn our fans on. So with this thing here, it's got an Allen bolt or some sort of fitting, so we're gonna take that off, and then this is about an 1.5 inch, or sorry, 1 1/8 wrench. All right guys, so we're getting there. This is our fan wiring. Yeah, the thermal switch is now in. So now, yeah, we gotta get those hoses off. I'm gonna see how I can do that. I think it just looks like, oh yeah, it's just these little clips. So you pull these clips out, and then the whole, yeah, the whole shebang will come with it. I was gonna get new hoses, but honestly, these are okay. Maybe in the future I'll get some nice silicone ones, but yeah. So these are just little clips that pull out. We'll take them off, and then remember, guys, you're gonna have to take these bushings off, and then that will take care of that entire setup, and we'll be pretty much good to go as far as putting it back into the rad saddle here. We're not obviously going to run any air conditioning, but at least at this point we know I mean, everything should be okay. We might just dry fit this today, that way at least I can get some fluid in the system before it gets too dark here, and then yeah, we'll be good to go. Yeah, pretty basic. Once you pull that clip, you're going to want to wiggle this little guy off here, and then yeah, it comes right off, and then you're just going to push down onto the rad. You can see the little lip, and this clip will go right back in there, and yeah, she's locked and she's loaded, ready to go. But yeah, obviously for your application it might be a little different. This is mostly for the MK4s, might even be the same for MK5s or all Volkswagens, I don't really know. But yeah, you know what I mean, for any aftermarket rad setup, you know, you're gonna have to kind of work around with what you got. I know when I did the Camaro, bigger rad meant a bigger rad support and different hoses and stuff. So when you guys are going to buy this stuff, just do as much research as you can. I'm just lucky enough that this is pretty much a direct fit as far as putting everything else on it. So but yeah, so let's get that last hose off and on here. Okay guys, so it's starting to get a little dark here. I'm, you know, I mean, running out of daylight obviously, but yeah, I'm probably gonna have to continue it tomorrow, unfortunately. By the time I get off work, guys, I really just don't have the time to do some big ass projects here. But yeah, I'm trying to get those bushings off, and they're just a huge pain, honestly. They're just kind of ratted up. I might just go brand new. I'd rather as well do that and do it right the first time. But if you guys take a look, like, look at this radiator, guys, and move around to the front. Oh baby, look at that. That thing looks awesome, man. Such an awesome rad. Yeah, compared to this guy right here, which is kind of all messed up. But yeah, for the most part, guys, or for the most part, it really wasn't like that tough. It's just time consuming. And I mean, I should have done the thermostat right the first time, instead of trying to force everything on there with the alternator on. Like, just a huge pain in the ass. But yeah, whatever. I mean, shit happens, it's okay. So yeah, what I think we're gonna do then is I'll probably just call Das Parts, because they usually have a lot of stuff in stock. Yeah, and pick up some new radiator bushings, and then hopefully tomorrow, I mean, the weather's gonna be hopefully be okay. I'll be able to come home, yeah, throw it on the radiator here, toss in the rad cradle, and then I should have this thing running with full coolant in it tomorrow. So there it is. Here's the new rad. Yeah, so pretty much I had to go out and grab some new bushings here, because these guys are just so rotted off, or not rotted off obviously because they're still on there, but they're in pretty rough shape and a huge pain in the ass to get off. But yeah, we were able to find some, and then if you look, there they are. There's one right there, and down there I got them from Das Parts in Cambridge, as always. And then all you're gonna do, yeah, you're just gonna kind of put the rad in, and then you're gonna put these 4 T30 Torx screws back in, and then those will thread right into the those little rubber bushings. They have like let's see if I can find it for you right there. So if you see that right there, that's pretty much what those are threaded into. And then I just kind of tightened up these little 10 mils. I think this is for the AC condenser when you're actually going to run it. Yeah, and then what we did was we remounted just the top part of the rad shroud here, this whole unit. So just the top. Yeah, the only thing that's a bit of a problem, at least for my application, is, yeah, the hose. So the oil cooling hose is up against the actual fan here. So what I'm gonna have to do is, I just want to get some coolant in this thing today. It's like 0 degrees Celsius here right now, Might take a while for it to warm up, but yeah, we're getting into the colder months up here, so yeah, I'm gonna try and see if I can at least get coolant in it to start it, and then I'm gonna have to go out and switch that to a 45, I think, which will allow me to run better. Like, I have enough play. If you look over, I have enough play that I can move around it a bit, but I just don't like that angle on a straight fitting, and I really don't feel like moving the entire sandwich plate over, just because I don't want the lines and the fittings up against like the block or the starter. So yeah, it's a bit of a mess a little bit, but yeah, make sure you guys reattach your hoses for any application. Obviously we have our MK4 GTI here. Yeah, make sure you check everything that you did move during the process. So you know what I mean, belt's on there nice and tight, everything seems to be okay, and then our alternator is all mounted back up from obviously the other night there. But yeah, as far as the rad goes, really this yeah, CSF Performance for the MK4, at least the GTI, oh my gosh, it is a perfect fit. I'm actually extremely happy with it. I've had aftermarket rads in the past for different applications and stuff like that, but yeah, it's got the nice logo on there. But legit direct fit, guys. So if you are thinking about doing it for your MK4 GTI or even the Jetta, I'm not sure if it's gonna be the same sort of style, but I would assume it would. Yeah, really awesome. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna open up this coolant ball here, and I'm just gonna start pouring some coolant in, and then we're gonna fire up the baby and kind of hope for the best, and we're just gonna let it drain out throughout the system. From what I was told, so this is an expansion tank, not an actual coolant reservoir, but yeah, they just told me pretty much just keep filling it up, and then it will continue to run itself through the system. We're also gonna have to go underneath quickly and just reconnect the fan wiring and the thermal switch for the actual fans to turn on. So I'm gonna quickly go underneath here, and if you look, there they are right here, all the wiring. So here is the thermal, this is the thermal switch to turn the fans on, and then you guys saw earlier, there it is. So this guy right here, that's your yeah, that's your pretty much your temperature switch that's going to be able to turn the fans on once it gets enough coolant in there. But yeah, for now I'm thinking about relocating this power steering line, or maybe throwing in another aftermarket cooler. I did one on the Camaro, it actually worked out pretty good, so I might look into that, maybe just kind of extend the line a bit. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna do that, but and then I can go back into the power steering pump here, because it's such a weird spot, and like right below the oil filter, huge pain in the ass. It doesn't help that this thing's lower, but yeah, if you look up top, there's our oil cooler line. I don't know, I might, maybe when I get some time, I might just change this line out to a braided line, and then you know what I mean, have like a little bit more slack on it. It's tight, but not too tight. Just don't want the rub it against something. So let me just clean the screen here, guys. That's a little bit better, but yeah, and then you can see our braided line. So that should be a fairly easy easy fix there. Just gonna throw a 45 on it, and then I'll be able to kind of hoop over the rad fan. I was thinking about actually switching the fans over, so like as you can see, this is a smaller shallower fan, but I don't want to mess with the design too much. So, and then again, guys, for any application you have, just make sure your drain tube here is yeah, it's tightened up, so that way when we dump the new coolant in, and then just make sure your rad hoses are at least routed in a way where they're not going to get damaged or anything. So this thing's pretty much where we left off. This goes on this wire, I believe, here, and then into, you can see a little hole. Push that bad boy in, kind of a pain in the ass because the bottom part's not, there we go, connected. And then, yeah, let's put our fan switch now. I kind of broke this, but, yeah, I don't know if what I was told, it should be okay. If I gotta buy a new one, I buy a new one eventually, but, okay. And then, yeah, as far as the connections go for the fans, I think they are color oriented here, or connection oriented. Yeah, that looks different. Yeah, there we go. So, okay guys, so yeah, let me just get these connections on, and then we're gonna start it up and start pouring the coolant into it. So far, again, no leaks on any of the oil fittings. Yeah, the belt looks good. Yeah, everything looks great actually so far. Yeah, we're just going to see how, if any cooling, you can kind of see it starting to go down again. So we're just going to keep filling this up until we reach our, obviously we have our minimum there. So yeah, in the meantime, just kind of hang out and we'll be, yeah, getting this thing fully loaded. Okay guys, so it's been about, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes. We've had this thing running. Still got some of the oil burning off that was sitting in the turbo and stuff like that from trying to get off the downpipe and stuff, the whole penetrating oil. But anyways, yeah, so the rad's in. I couldn't get the fans to come on, so I have to double check, make sure I got the wiring correct, but it should be pretty basic. I don't know if the thermostat did eventually open or not, but the temperature gauge inside the car was still reading, had a solid 90 degrees Celsius, which is pretty common for these cars. But I don't know, I might have to get on the road. Like I said, it's pretty cold today, and this aluminum rad, like the one side is not hot at all, the other one is decently warm, but nothing too crazy. So yeah, whatever, we'll see. I'm gonna have to add just a wee bit more coolant once this cools down, and I'm gonna have to go out and snag another fitting for the oil cooler there. But yeah, anyway guys, stay tuned for another video, and I appreciate the views on this one as we figure out some of the quirks with this Volkswagen and trying to modify it for the track. So yeah, take care guys. There's just a bee in my face here. Take care guys, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment if you want to, as well as follow us on Instagram at Max Attack Motorsports. Take care. See ya.